That walk down the hallway before a parent-teacher conference, every educator, they know that feeling. Because sometimes the conversations are easy, and sometimes they're the ones that we are afraid to have. There are conversations that happen during parent-teacher conferences, and then there are the ones that we rehearse in our head, but never say out loud. Not because we're avoiding the truth and not because we don't care, but because words matter and relationships matter even more. Today, I want to talk about the conversations that we're afraid to have and why how we say things are more important than what we actually say. Parent-teacher conferences are emotional spaces. They really are. Families walk in with the hope and fear and pride and sometimes worry. And teachers, we walk in with a lot of data, documentation, responsibilities, and the weight of advocating for our students. So, no, these conversations are never casual. They are layered, they are complicated, and that's where the translator voice comes in. Because sometimes what teachers say is not exactly what we mean. For example, translation number 1. Your child is very social. Now what we mean? Your child talk too much. They do. They talk during whole group. They talk during small group. They talk during any group. But we say it gently because we don't want a child reduced to a single behavior. Now, translation number 2. Let's see here. There's a few behaviors that we're just keeping an eye on. What we mean? This isn't new. It's been consistent. Your child is off the chain. You know they do this at the house. Come on now, you know that. But we choose our words wisely because we know families can feel blamed before they feel supported. Translation number 3. They are capable of so much more. I know they can do it. Now what we mean is the ability is there, the follow-through is not. Stop babying them. I know you are doing their work at home. Now, that's a hard thing to hear, especially because the parent loves their child and they don't want to hear anything that's negative, and we understand that. Now, here's the part that people really don't realize. Teachers don't soften language to avoid honesty. We don't. We soften the language to protect the relationship. Now, that relationship should be built early on, the beginning of the school year. Honesty without trust often feel like judgment. And once a family feels judged, they stop listening. They do. Even if what you're saying is true. People may not remember every word that you say, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Both parents and teachers, we have to realize that we're on the same team. A student's success is a team effort where parental love will always meet professional expertise. Look, as teachers, we realize your child is more than data. We do. We would love to talk about their humor and how kind they are and all that personal stuff. However, we have to require, and we are required to inform you about the curriculum and test scores. We are. Now, parents, try and be more vulnerable, if possible. Teachers can't help what we don't know. We're not trying to get in your business. We're not. But if a pet died, you had a lot of frequent moves, there's divorce, there's separation, those events will affect a child. That's the reason why I say it is very important to build those relationships early on. We want to make sure that we're all on the same page. We want to talk about the next steps, what we can do together. Consistency between home and school is what actually will help a child. It's going to help them grow. Most times, both the teacher and the family members, we're having internal dialogue. We really are, right? So when teachers sit down, they think with a smile, I know you're going to blame me for your child's struggle. And when a parent sit down with a smile, they're thinking, I know you're going to blame me for my child's struggle because I know you think I'm a bad parent. Now, what's actually spoken is, come on, let's sit down, and we're going to go over reading and the math scores. Those are the things that we say. We don't really say the things that's going on in our head. I can remember when I had parent-teacher conferences, and I would love to meet my parents in the office because I wanted to have that time as we were walking from the office to my room to just kind of chit-chat a little bit. I would ask them about their day, and I would really want to know about their day. I'm not just saying it just to do it, but I wanted to know how their day was. I wanted to just kind of make them a little bit relaxed. So by the time we got to my classroom, you know, all that stuff, because, you know, some of them might be coming from work, some of them, you know, even if they're at the house, there's things still going on. And I wanted them to be like, I want them to feel comfortable with me. And then after we did that and we talked about how, you know, most times they would be like, and how you doing and how your day's going, and I know these children probably getting on your nerve and this, that, the other, and da-da-da-da. But, you know, we would chuckle and have a, you know, a little laugh, stuff like that. But after I kind of see where their head space was, then I would go ahead and listen to them, and I would ask them, do you have any concerns or questions? Because sometimes they do, and I wanted to be the one to kind of hear where they were before I just started coming in and just saying some of the things that I needed to say to them, whether it's good or bad. And by that time, then I would sprinkle in the data, and I would sprinkle in some of the things as far as how the characteristics of their child, you know, whether they have a sense of humor, and, you know, so-and-so, they always making the students laugh, or, you know, they're so kind when they do whatever. And at the same time, this is what's going on, and this is the data. And most time they received it better that way. They really did. But you know what? I didn't realize at the time that I was calming their nerves down. That was just something that I wanted to do. And I just always wanted to make my parents feel comfortable. Again, you just have to build relationship. And I can truly say that I've built them with most of my parents. I really did. And it was just, even today, I still have relationships with my parents, even though most of their children are grown, but that's what a relationship will do. These aren't conversations we're afraid to have because they're difficult. They're conversations we approach carefully because children are at the center of them. Families don't expect perfection from teachers most time. I think most of the time they just want honesty. They want to believe that you care about their child. They really do. And when families know that you care, even the hard truths, they land differently. They will swallow it a little bit easier. It's just like putting a little bit of a honey on some things. You know, like when you want to, this reminds me of, I know I'm going a little off track, but this reminds me of sometimes when you've ever had a little baby and you want them to eat something that's not really sweet, you just add a little bit of something sweet to it and then they'll eat it. Yeah, it's the same thing. You know, it's the same thing. Anyway, sorry for my digression. Parent conferences, you know what they're really about? They are not about winning a conversation, proving a point, listing everything that's wrong with the child. That's not what it's about. What it is about is trust, communication, partnership. Because when parents and families, when they trust each other, they listen. And that's something that's lacking too. We're not listening to each other because we all come with preconceived ideas of what we want, and we want to be heard. And that's another thing too. All we want to do is be heard. We do. That's all we really want. But when everybody feels respected, it's easier to collaborate. And that's when growth happens for families, for the students, and for the teachers. Now, the goal of a conference isn't to fix a child. It is to strengthen the bridge between home and the classroom. So maybe the real conversation we don't say out loud is that teachers, we're not judging. We are truly advocating for the student. And that's the reason why we choose our words carefully, because we want to make sure that relationships come first. And when relationships are strong, honesty, I'm just like, it's been a day. I'm sorry, it's been a day. Honesty becomes possible. It is. That's the work. That's the work we all are striving for. That's the heart of conferences. It really is. And that's why these conversations matter. Now remember, the goal of a conference is not to fix the child. It is to strengthen the bridge between home and the classroom. There's something that I have to say as well. It is very difficult being a teacher. It's not the way it used to be. Teaching has never been easy, but today it feels heavier more than ever. Behavior challenges are up, resources, it feels stretched thin, and sometimes it feels like regardless of what we do, nothing happens, nothing changes, no matter how hard that we try. To my teachers, I want you to know that you matter. You need to feel that within the depths of your soul. Every moment that you spend trying to reach a challenging student, it does count, even if it doesn't feel like it. There are some stressful moments, and there's some stressful moments going on right now. It's not just about the academics or about classroom management. Your health matters. Stress is building up. Burnout, you know what? It's real. And I want every teacher that is listening to know that self-care, sweet, it is not an option. I was about to say sweetie pie because that's what I call my children. But I just want y'all to know that it's not an option. It's not. It is essential. Now, you know I got to talk to my parents. We need your help. We need your help more than ever. When a child is struggling, when your child is struggling, it's not just on the teacher. And I know that's what we want to do. We always want to blame the teacher didn't do this, or they didn't like our child, or whatever the excuse may be, if there's one. I don't know. But it just always seems as if we're always pointing our finger towards the teacher. Parents, your support and your accountability is important, and it does make a difference. The accountability of your child makes a difference as well. There has to be some type of consequences, because if there's no consequences, guess what's going to happen? It's going to continue. You don't want that. We as educators, we don't want that either. Remember, we want your child to be the best that they can be. Remember, at the end of the day, regardless of what you're driving, remember to breathe, reset, and rise. And if you ever had conversations, that parent-teacher conference, just add some comments down below. I love to hear what your experiences were. And if you like Teacher Chronicles and Jeep Moments, and you want more episodes, believe me, they're coming. Watch out for some more. They are coming. Well, I got to get out of here. Until next time.